Bob, how are you?
How's it going, Sony? Okay, so
Great.
I'm here with Sony. We kind of met on TikToks. We're gonna put this up on YouTube and cut it up for TikToks, but we met on TikToks, kind of discussing the whole B1 visa situation, and he was gracious enough to be like he knows a lot about this. So let's do like a video call and let's discuss this because obviously I take it you're from Canada since you got all the Canadian flags and everything in your TikTok page.
Right.
Okay, so like we're kind of, we didn't really talk much before we started recording, so we kind of wanted to save most of the conversation for the recording. So we're kind of starting off like with the, like you saying like I'm frustrated, right? And I was explaining to you that I'm not really frustrated because I didn't really know much about it, Like I literally just like started like looking into this because I was under the impression the whole time that like if you pick up a load in Canada, you're only supposed to bring it down to the United States to get empty, and then you got to come back empty to Canada, right? That was technically how it's supposed to work.
Not exactly. Under you. The thing is, I will explain you the whole concept how it works. Right.
Okay.
When we are Canadian citizens, we can enter U.S. under the B1 entry.
Okay.
As a truck driver. The B1 entry only gives us the permission for the international transfer. That means we can bring from Canada to U.S. Or from U.S. to Canada.
Okay.
The driver has to work only for Canadian carrier.
Okay, understood.
And the third condition is he cannot do interstate in U.S.
So nothing domestic.
Exactly, cannot do domestic. So to give you an example, I can pick up in Montreal, deliver in California, pick up in California, bring it back to Montreal, or anywhere in Canada.
Anywhere
right?
In Canada, yeah.
But I cannot pick up in California and bring it to New York and pick up in New York and come back. That would be interstate for me. That is prohibited.
Okay, so this is, I guess, where the confusion and all the like people, I seen arguing on there is that, I'm seeing like a lot of comments that people are saying like big companies are doing like some kind of like, have sister companies. And so I guess this is where like the thing comes in is like, are these drivers really doing domestic freight?
No, they're not.
There's
a very big misconception. You have to understand also as well. There are big companies who do have permits.
Okay.
And their drivers do have visas and work permits in U.S.
Okay. So the thing comes in where now the visa is going to be the problem because if you get the work visa, but okay, so say they got the visa, are they still doing like say Canada to United States and then the United States or no? Or are they just staying in the United States and working on that visa?
Okay, so here's what's happening. If there's a Canadian company bring the load to America, to anywhere in U.S., right?
Yeah.
And they have their base, their driver has a work permit. That driver is allowed to work in U.S. He has a work permit in U.S.
Okay.
He's not entering U.S. on the B1 visa.
Okay,
but it's a whole different ballgame. It's not the same thing as B1 visa.
But I guess the question is he still doing both the international part and the domestic part, or no? At that point,
if the guy has a work permit, he is allowed to do because he has a work permit to work in America. Then he's not stealing your job. He has a work permit in U.S.
So the next question would be, is like obviously since you got is there dual like authority?
The company could be registered in U.S.
So it
the
could
company
be both
could have
registered both in Canada and United States. Okay.
There are a few companies like that. They're pretty big companies. They do have their offices in U.S. Their drivers have work permits. They're allowed to work in U.S. And they can come to Canada. They can bring the load back to U.S. and do domestic, but it's in rare situations. But most of the drivers Canadian drivers, they enter U.S. on the B1. They never do interstate. They only bring the load to U.S. and pick up a load in U.S. and bring it back to Canada. So it's an international transfer.
Yeah. I mean, the international thing's obviously normal because that's been going on for forever, right? So I'm guessing like where the frustration's coming is then the people coming in on the visas and working for a lot cheaper, right?
Well, that's a misunderstanding as well, because if technically we look at the salaries, U.S. and U.S. and Canadian salaries are not far apart. So it's not even worth for a Canadian driver to go to U.S. to work and drive for an American company as much.
Yeah, but at this point, I don't think they're talking about Canadians. I think we're talking about like people from like Europe, India, like Mongolia. You know what I mean? Like they're coming from, like especially like I'm guessing you're Indian, right? I'm Polish background. Right. So like I guess if they're bringing in people, that will come here, just live in a truck for 6 months or however long they can stay and leave, save up the money, send it back to their country. because obviously, if you work, a month here, you could probably live a year in Poland, for example, off what you make. So I think that's probably where the frustration, I'm guessing, is coming from. And like I said, like for me, it's weird because coming from a background of immigrant parents, you know what I mean? Like I kind of see both sides of it, but at the same time, like I also like think about it, like if my dad first came here, like he didn't speak English, didn't do anything, would I feel safe putting him into a 53-foot, truck driving 80,000 pounds? I don't know if I would, especially like if he doesn't know how to, speak English, read English, follow road signs and stuff like that, and that's coming from a person with immigrant parents, so I think that's, because what you're explaining, I mean, that's perfectly legal because that's been going on for, forever, because obviously you have to bring Canadian freight down, Mexican freight up, whatever, but I think what everybody's getting mad about is just about that all these people are coming in here and then driving for cheap and then, taking the loads away.
Yeah, that's I agree with you in that term. Yes, when people don't speak English, absolutely agree with you. They don't know the rules and regulations. They cannot read the road signs. 100%
Yeah.
agreed. But at the same time, it's not the Canadian drivers. I don't know much about Mexican drivers, but I know about Canadians because I deal with Canadian companies on the daily basis, right?
Yeah.
I deal with drivers. I will tell you, when they come back to US, sometimes the CBP would stop them on the American side
Hmm.
and take a look at their ELDs. With the ELDs, now they cannot change their logbooks.
Yeah.
So if they're hauling anything interstate, they will get caught, and there could be a 5-year ban
Okay.
or a permanent ban as well. So it's pretty complete. It's not that easy for a Canadian driver to do anything like that. Not to say nobody does that. And so far, as many people I know, I haven't seen anybody doing it.
Yeah, this is why like conversations are good, because like I said, I just like recently like stumbled on this because of like TikTok. So I haven't like really looked into it. That's why I kind of, when I made that video, I was like, hey, if anybody knows anything about this, let me know. So like you like describing this, I really don't think the situation is with people upset with people from Canada or Mexico. Like at this point, what I'm starting to see is just people are more upset about people coming in not speaking English on these visas, and then driving for cheap, because like if the market, say right now, is, what is it, probably like 65 70 cents per mile for a driver in America, if somebody's coming in going like 40 cents per mile, that's obviously they could take a little bit cheaper rates, because you're looking at a savings of what, 20 25 cents 30 cents per mile.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. But at the same time, the thing is that ATA has been saying for a long time that there is a shortage of drivers in US.
I don't believe there's a shortage of drivers.
They have been saying it, and they have been giving out the visas, H-2B visas to these immigrants, a lot of immigrants to come in and drive. The
Yeah.
American companies, trucking companies, have been doing that. I don't know the real purpose behind it. If there's no shortage of any drivers, but they have been doing it lately, right? So they are bringing the drivers from other countries.
Yeah.
So at the same, I guess they should concentrate more on the training and auditing these drivers. That's more what they should be doing, instead of just going out and criticizing that, okay, immigrants aren't coming in and taking the jobs. That's what I believe in.
Yeah, I mean, like because you got like like because like how it is, like America, Canada, big country, a lot of different like point of views, angles and stuff, and I totally don't, I don't agree with that too, like bashing of immigrants or anything like that. That's just not the way to go about it, you know what I mean? That's, at least in my eyes. So because you like the same thing too, like everybody's like always like talking about that flip-flops thing all the time. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
really, I'm like, dude, if I drove a truck, I'm like, I'd probably be wearing flip-flops too. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is, but I just think it's more of like in my opinion, like Americans, like like real, like people that have been Americans like generations, I think a lot of them just need to like shut up, stop whining, and just like start like working, because like everybody's always complaining about stuff, but nobody ever wants to do this stuff. And then like what really blows my mind is like, even like, not to get too political or anything, but like they're like, oh, with the whole like deportation and stuff like that, and now everybody's like, oh, but who's going to clean your house, do that, like is that really the way you look at immigrants? Like, do you know what I mean? Like the whole time, like, okay, you let them all in, then deport them, and now your argument is like, who's going to clean your house, or who's going to grab the fruit, or who's going to do like the jobs that nobody wants? Like that's crazy to me. Like, you know what I mean? So you got like one side, that's like just saying this like crazy stuff, which to me is kind of like, if I was the first generation immigrant, I'd be super upset that somebody's been saying something like that. It's just wild. But like in cases like trucking, like it's just like I said, if you're driving 80,000 pounds, like you should at least read English, speak a decent amount of English, and just be able to, like take role. Like say for example, like if you took me and threw me just any country in the world, just say Germany for example, and you put me in a car in Germany or like England on the other side of the road, like you're gonna have a hard time because like you don't know how to read any signs or do anything. Like you could use like GPS, whatever, but it's still gonna be like like always like I don't like watch out and make sure nothing happens and kind of scary situation. So
No, that's absolutely right. Look, that's why when I started my platform, my intention is not bashing or criticizing. I usually try to teach people.
that's good.
I speak 7 languages. I teach them in as many languages as possible. I speak Russian. I thought you were Russian,
No,
so
so if it looks, because I'm looking at the screen at you, but I noticed that if you're looking at me in the video, it kind of looks like I'm looking away from you, but I'm actually looking right at you. Just so you
right.
know. Yeah, actually, I went through your TikTok a little bit. I seen you speaking around. I'm like, damn, an Indian dude speaking Russian. That's crazy.
Exactly.
Wait,
So you see,
and I don't want to get it wrong. You are Indian, correct? Not.
yes, I'm Punjabi. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Because I know you guys got the whole thing going on with Pakistan right now, so I don't want to
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
get anybody mad.
So what I concentrate on, I concentrate on educating our people in their language. I tell them about the laws and regulations as much as I can,
And what
and I
is your
see the change.
platform? Sorry to interrupt. What is your platform, by the way? Because I didn't see that on the TikTok.
Hackman and Dhingra.
Okay, and what do you do?
HACMUN Dhingra. We do safety and compliance. We do
Oh, okay.
tickets. We do violations, infractions, CTQ. It's like a DOT of Quebec,
Oh,
CTQ files. We
yes.
do, yeah.
Set
So
up
we bring,
companies.
yeah, go to courts and all that, right?
Okay.
Violations. And we handle all of that stuff. So I educate them. I educate them. My purpose is to educate them as much as possible. That's the only way we can bring the change. That's a positive change. I don't bash. I don't criticize. I see a lot of people doing wrong things. Doesn't matter what color, creed, or religion. Somebody will do something wrong sooner or later.
Yeah, of course.
So my purpose is okay. You know what? Okay, you're wearing flip flops, perfectly fine. But you know what? If you wear boots, it's gonna be safer for you. You're not gonna lose your toe, and it's good for you, and it's professional.
Yeah.
So once I start teaching them that, and I see the difference now.
So are you like a lawyer background or something or?
Yeah, I studied transport law.
Oh, no, really? Okay.
Yeah, so and plus I used to drive too, right? So I used to drive a long time ago.
Oh, before you got your degree?
But yeah, a long time ago, in
Hmm.
1998, 2000, I used to drive. I used to own the trucks, and then afterwards, I ended up studying transport law, and now I have my safety and compliance firm. So we do all of these things together. So with all the accumulated experience, I'm able to understand the drivers. I'm able to understand the company owners. At the same time, I'm able to understand the people who are criticizing because they are criticizing for a right reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes like, a little bit like it goes a little bit crazy. I know like my wife, even like when I started like first started doing this, my wife would go on there and start arguing with people on my like my post. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, why? It's like, people are gonna say stupid stuff, people are gonna be negative. It's online. If I'm putting myself out there, I can't expect everybody to be all peachy and rosy with me. Somebody is not gonna like me or say some stuff, you know what I mean? So I just think online is just over exaggerated. Because if you see the
Right.
same person on the street, they would never say some shit like that. You know what I mean? So
Nothing, yeah.
yeah, so
That's the reason you see, like because you can see me, I can see you. We have a respect for each other. But the people with the accounts, no face accounts, they can say whatever they want because nobody knows about them, right?
yeah,
So
but it just makes it, just it's a sad life. You know what I mean? To go on there and just start, like just saying, stupid stuff, just try to get a rise out of people. It just does. I already learned just to leave it alone. Even if they say something stupid to me, I just be like, oh, whatever. I got too many like account violations and stuff like that to even be messing around anymore. It just ain't worth it. But like you said, education is good, man. Like educate people, and at least you did the smart thing. You got out of actual trucking and went to a business that caters to trucking. Which obviously there's probably way more money in that than you would in trucking with all the ups and downs.
it's not as much about money, to be honest. I came in because I saw that there was no one educating these kids.
Okay.
And to be honest, all my purpose, I do everything for free. I make these videos. I don't take sponsors, nothing. I do everything else. It's all volunteering.
Okay.
And I do it just to educate them. Because I see now, the thing is, since I started, initially I didn't see much response, but now I see the quality of questions these kids are asking. Wow.
That's
They're
good.
asking me real, genuine questions only someone who understands everything would ask, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually get
So
it
just
from messages like that too, which, if I could help, I always try to respond and help as best as I can, but this like that's good that I mean, good for you. You don't take technically I'll take sponsorships because I'll take the money, but like I won't take like a sponsorship that would be bad for somebody. You know what I mean? So like I wouldn't like try to push something on somebody that like I wouldn't use myself or I know would help me. Actually, just RTS Financial, they offered me a pretty good deal. They offered me like 10% of everybody I sign up to them, 10% of the profit for the whole time they have an account. But they just got so much negative feedback on my TikTok that I was like, I can't do it, and I turned it down because not all money is good money.
eventually everything will fall in place for sure. But as I said, like you're doing a good job. I watched some of your videos and
Thank you.
and see the positive, very positive impact. It's a lot of good knowledge for people who want to learn something, right?
Appreciate it. Yeah, I tried watching your videos, but unfortunately, I don't speak Russian or anything.
No, some of them are Russian, yeah, but mostly in Punjabi. So
Yeah. Yeah, when I see
you
you
gotta
speaking
connect
Russian, I
there.
was like, how the hell did you learn Russian?
It's not only about good looks, eh?
And then also I see you're jacked, dude.
Yeah, I was 2014 Quebec Masters
Really?
champion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
with
try to work out
bodybuilding.
when my belly's a little bit. I'm trying to lose the belly, man. But I've been going to the gym for probably like I think like 7 8 years now. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, definitely. I did not get that kind of physique because I just like eating
Well,
too
listen, you're
much.
Slavic. You guys work out for 2 weeks. You're bigger than
Nah,
everyone.
I would. Nah,
We have to go through a genetic change, right?
no, I actually ended up. I jumped on TRT when I was like 34 because I was
Okay.
so fat and out of shape, and my kid was born, and I was like, man, I got to do something. So at least now I'm still like fat jacked, better than just fat. But I seen the pictures of you, man. That's some dedication right there, dude.
You are Jack, man. I saw your videos on YouTube, man. Yes.
Nah, not like
Look,
that, dude.
the
You're.
bromance is kicking in, eh?
So that took you? How long did it take you to get a physique like that? Probably like 10+ years, no?
I've been working out all my life, right?
Yeah.
But that was 1 year solid prep, and my coach was Claude Gru. I don't think you know about him. He was
Mm.
Mr. Olympia Masters.
Okay.
So I think 2004, if I'm not wrong. Claude Gru is from Montreal, so he was there, and at 1 year straight, I was training with him from morning till like every day, 7 days a week.
How many times were you eating?
Oh, I still eat like about 7 times a day,
Really?
but
Yeah.
small meals, very small
Yeah,
meals.
yeah,
It's all
yeah.
protein, chicken, beef, and then pork and all kinds of stuff, right? And only proteins, yeah.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Like like I'll make it like a month or two, like eating good, eating clean, and then I'll get like super big, and then like I just stuff happens, like work, like work's going bad right now. So like for the last like 2 weeks, I think I only went to the gym maybe like 5 times, and that's like the least I've ever like in the whole 7 8 years I've been working out. I don't think I've been to the gym less than the last 2 weeks, which it makes me feel worse because every time at least I go, even if I don't want to go and I just go just get something done, I just feel a lot better than not
Yeah,
going at
you
all.
gotta work out. You gotta work out. Me, I can. For my head, I need to work out for my head.
Yeah.
It's to be sane. I lose my sanity if I don't work out.
Yeah, me too now, man. It feels a lot better. But I'm having like, because I had two knee surgery. I had a patella reconstruction and I had a meniscus repair. So it's kind of hard for me to do legs. I kind of wish I kind of wish I could do legs. Like I'm slacking on legs big time. And I
No,
don't,
you gotta. Well, why don't you do a small cycle or something just to heal up?
like what, like some peptides or something?
Yeah, you can just grab on some GH or IGF or something or BPC,
B- Yeah, I tried BBC
TB
for a little bit.
500 and
Yeah, TB 500 and BCP. I jumped on that for a little bit. I did feel a little good. I probably should do that again. But the knee surgeries were a
yeah.
long time ago, but they're still like bothering me. So like I'll start doing legs, and then my knee will pop, and then it's over after that for like
Yeah, and you
months.
gotta be careful with yeah, with the knees. You gotta go slowly because your body weight too, right? It plays a role in
Yeah,
there.
I'm 6'2", 290 something.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Uh,
Yeah, you're a big dude, man.
yeah,
I'm 254 and I want to go down to 220 because I'm too big for 5'11.
yeah. 220. If I was 220, I'd be happy. I think like 220, 230. If I could get to and still keep the muscle, that would be great. But
No, that would be no. You can just get some Superdrol or Tren and start with Tren or Superdrol and just
I
lean
can't.
down to the
I
center.
can't do trend, man. I cannot do trend. Uh, well, this trucking podcast just turned into a stereo podcast real quick. But no, I can't. I can't do trend because I just the side effects are too much for me. Like
Oh, okay.
I get angry, I sweats. I just not worth it, man, for me. Like I just like testing MPP. Like MPP makes me feel good. Like helps my joints out a lot. So like that's pretty much what I'll stick to nowadays. Because
Yeah.
I'm out of shape too still. Like even though I work out, so I don't want to like push it too hard and get a heart attack at 41. You know,
Yeah,
because
you gotta be careful with that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a seizure last 2 years ago, and it wasn't easy. Yeah, it was
oh,
hard.
oh wow,
Yeah, broke my scapula and all that stuff. So
oh fuck yeah, because I smoke too. You know,
yeah,
so, so
you
it's kind
gotta.
of
That's hard.
yeah.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, let's keep in touch, buddy. Man, it was nice meeting you, man. Keep up
Likewise. So we're
doing
gonna
what you're
talk
doing.
again. I'm sure a lot of things gonna happen because I think Oklahoma and Arkansas, the bills there, the local bills,
Okay.
they're coming in and they're banning the B1 and B2 in Oklahoma from driving the truck.
Oh fuck. Okay.
That's bad because then Canadian guys will not even be able to pass through Oklahoma.
You have to go around it. That's just retarded.
No, that doesn't make no sense, right?
No, it doesn't. Especially like I said, this is something that's been going on for the longest time. Just don't mess with it. You know what I mean? Because at that point, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just make border warehouses and then just fucking cross them over that way if you're gonna do all that. But like that's pointless. I mean
It's not
this
gonna make sense. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, the transportation is gonna be super costly.
you know
Yeah.
well
Okay. So we stay in touch and let me know. Send me okay. I'll send you my email address. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, buddy. Send me an email address. I'll send you a file of this recording.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Awesome, buddy. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, good day, Bob. Bye.
Bye.